Good evening, everyone. It's me. You know, some people might get this idea about me that I'm some bloodthirsty lunatic for the things I say. But here's the thing, there's a difference between my violence and the violence that's inflicted upon us every day. The difference is this: they use their violence as a mechanism of control, to control the population. They set examples of people every day so that it keeps others around those people in line. And my violence protects the innocent. My violence secures freedom. My violence throws off the shackles around our ankles, the cuffs around our wrists. You see, violence isn't necessarily a bad thing. It really depends on what it's being used for. And this is one of the things that got me bullied as a young man. The people around me, they wanted to commit random acts of violence against random people for no good reason whatsoever. And that is something that I really had a hard time wrapping my mind around. I always thought, probably you should have a reason to inflict such brutality on another human being. That is the difference between my violence and the violence of the state. My violence secures the freedoms that we were all guaranteed upon our birth. Their violence takes it away. So you tell me, people, you tell me, with all the pre-staged weapons, armored personnel carriers, do you think that the federal government's really going to be that generous to all these local municipalities and counties and give them these things without strings attached? I don't think so. But if you want to believe that, you can be that naive child. But those days, the days of being that naive child, are quickly coming to an end. What we have going on in our nation right now is a sort of war. And it's happening at the highest levels. We have on one hand the neocons like Donald Trump and his crew. Then we have the neo-libs on the other side, the Nancy Pelosi's. And then you have a couple more within the government. You have the real radical socialists like AOC, Bernie Sanders. And each of these factions are fighting for the control of the one world order. Then, of course, we have Russia and China on the other side, trying to do the same. Their violence will keep you imprisoned, whereas the violence I propose, the violence that is necessary, secures our freedom. Don't be naive and think that people aren't going to die in such a thing. you're going to die anyway. I'm going to die anyway. At least we have an opportunity to make our deaths mean something other than having your family around you, holding your hand as you go. Can you think of a more pathetic way to go than that? As a man, as a soldier, can you think of a more pathetic way? I don't want my children and my wife and my other family laying or sitting there as I'm dying. I want my death to have meaning. And it don't necessarily mean I'm going to die, and it doesn't necessarily mean you would die. People are going to die no matter what. Whether there's a war or not, people drop dead every single day for nothing. Because they ate too much fatty foods and had a heart attack, or smoked too many cigarettes in their lifetime and got lung cancer or emphysema, or maybe they had such a shitty life that they just could not bear to take another fucking day on this planet, so they blow their brains out. And their deaths have absolutely no meaning. I want you to shed this need for these psychopathic leaders. I want you to understand that Donald Trump is nothing more than a long con game. The long con, it's called. Look, ever since the late 1980s, he's been dropping hints about running for president. He's gotten, over the years, more and more, willing to run for president. You recall at first he was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And it's funny how that Illuminati card game got it to a T. So basically, the right-wingers, whether they be regular right-wingers or alt-righters, they fell for the long con. And in doing so, they've dropped their guard. It's funny how when Obama was president, all these people were running out and buying as much ammo and shit as they possibly could. And now that it's Donald Trump, it's the liberals doing it. Isn't that funny? Isn't it funny how the Zion elders, what is the name of that fucking book? I can't recall the name of it, but it's the book for Zionists. It's all there in that book, and it's all exactly what that book says. And then you have these books by Gustav Le Bon, two of them, the study of the popular mind, and the psychology of revolution, where each and every one of these techniques that he exposes in these books, they're all being used on the population through the radio, the television, social media, YouTube, you name it. And you're all falling for it. Why is it so easy for one man to see, but so difficult for the masses to see? See, yeah, I do promote violence, but it's not because I'm bloodthirsty. It's because I understand these people know nothing but forcing their will on the rest of us. They know nothing but force. And if that's how it is, and it's clearly how it is, then there's only one force that's going to free us from their clutches. And that force is you and me. Till next time, kill the state and live free.